Hello, it's another one of these things. I'm Joe, and I got a dude with me.
Yeah, hi, I'm Fritterbiz, or whatever you want to, chocolate donuts, and I can't wait to learn how to rally some cars, Joe.
Oh, that's at the very start. Didn't I start this like a year ago?
Something like?
Man, it's been way too
I
long.
haven't been paying attention. What makes you think I pay attention to anything anymore?
I really don't know. Anyway, it's time to go back to Monaco. You remember Monaco? Of course you don't.
I remember Monaco. No, I don't.
But
Do I? You're doing
probably.
all these like little settings, and the light on the
Oh yeah,
left picture is changing. And
yeah. Basically,
what are we driving today?
it's the Volkswagen.
Yay!
It's the Volkswagen Polo. It goes a rally. It's tuned for rallying in the World Rally Championship. So this is a 2010s. 2010s is the final assortment of cars.
You certainly can't go any further.
No, last I knew we weren't in 2020, but Okay, so
What the?
yeah, here's how you can tell just what just looking at the times, really. Just seeing what we're up against. So, this took me about, what, 2, 3 hours after all this. And you can tell we're around the top 500 globally just to get at the most elite
Caution
of
right 6
drivers.
long through dip, braking hairpin left.
Alright.
So,
100 up.
a key part of polishing your turn is just trying to find
Left
your
6
problem
half long,
spots.
And caution left 6, right 5 tight.
Such as
into
this series
hairpin
of
right.
turns. It
6
kind of
deep,
it tends to
left 6, 60.
come up to you like this turn here.
Oh
It just
gosh.
yeah, it can catch you by surprise, especially since there's a slight crest going into the turn, and the
5,
U-turn
4,
just kind of
3, 2,
it sneaks up on
1.
you.
Go. Left 5 tights to 3, past
Okay.
junction bump, keep in. Right 1 long,
Okay,
open,
so
100 over crest.
I want to talk about the 2010s cars because they're they're
Right 4 long, 130 over
kind of
crest.
different from the rest of the series in that they are almost as fast as the fastest class, that being Group B,
Uh-huh.
Left 3, into
but
left 2 long.
that's not because the engine is all that powerful. It's just that
Into right 4
suspension
long,
and
tights to
gearboxes
3.
have finally
Left
caught up to
660.
that sort of power. I think
Right
you get
5
like
tights to 4.
300 horsepower in these
And left
machines.
5 crest,
Some of the
80.
Group Bs are 600.
Left 3 half long, 100 through tunnel.
Okay.
Right 4
So-
tight over
So
bumps.
even though they're less powerful
Into
because
right
they're
6.
built better,
Left 6.
they can
Right
kind
4
of hold
tightens,
their own.
immediate hairpin left.
Yeah, yeah.
Into left
Makes
6.
enough sense to me.
Yeah,
Into
it's
hairpin right half long.
kind of interesting that you can get
Right
times
6,
that
100.
beat some of the Group B cars, but not all of
Left
them
4, 60
in
over
these
crest.
things.
Right 5 tights to 4. Into left 3, opens. Right 5.
So, do you have any experience with rallying, like at all? Have you watched it?
I've watched some videos and they're fantastic because I like the ones where it's like a dashboard camera and you can hear them yelling at each other. That's always a lot of fun. But yes, I've watched some videos of rallying and it's always looked really exciting, but also kind of terrifying.
It definitely is.
And left 5 long.
That's why I've stuck with this game for so long. Is that you just
Into left 6,
It's
60. Right 6.
almost like a horror game
five long
when
over crest.
you're
Into left
going
6
into
half
certain
long.
sections. Just
Right 5, 60.
oh, what have I
Right
gotten
6,
myself into,
immediate
and
hairpin
how the
left.
fuck do I react to
Right
this? And
patch here.
sometimes it's just too
Into
late.
right 6. Into
You
left
just see
6
everything
half long.
creeping
Yeah,
up
I
on
can
you.
see.
150.
Yeah.
Especially with these nighttime
Hairpin right.
tracks, I can see where that would be kind of a
100.
it's almost really tense
Left 6 long.
when
keep
you're
right
coming
over
up on
crest.
some of these turns, like oh,
80.
because you don't have the
Caution
map
right
like a
5
lot of
tights to
racing
4.
games give you.
Left 3 tight over
Yeah, you
bump,
just
don't
have the
cut.
notes,
Right
and that's
6
it.
crest. Left 6
Yeah,
narrows.
which is clever. That's a really clever way of handling
and
it
left 5
in a game
into
format.
right 4,
Yeah, and
left
Having
2
it show up at the
tightens,
top there.
150,
that's just tradition at this point. I think I'm
right 6,
pretty sure
to
even the
right 4
first
tightens to 3,
Sega Rally Championship,
one
even though that
opens
was
100.
really just an arcade thing,
right
that
5,
had those pace notes
and left
showing up
6,
at the top, and then
into right
everybody
5,
copied that.
and left 5 long tightens 4, and right 2,
It's
right 1,
it's
left 3,
convenient
150
and
through dip.
pretty much tradition just at this point.
Yeah.
Keep left over crest, keep right over crest, right 6 long tightens 5 and continues 80.
Did he just
Left
tell you
5 long
keep
over
left
crest
and then keep
60.
right?
Yes, keep left over
Hairpin left.
crest, and then just there's immediately a second crest.
Into
It's
right 3 long,
kind of odd to me considering
opens
that
100.
it's just a small
Caution,
chicane
left 5 long
and
over crest,
you
bad
really just have
camber,
to find the
right
line
6,
through it.
and caution left 5 half long,
Some of
tightens
the
Right.
some of the
hairpin
notes in
right,
this can get
80.
kind of odd, but I guess it just kind of works.
right 5 half long, left
I'm
4,
not sure
and
what
right 4
cars
half
they
long,
use to tune
80 over
these
crest,
pace notes.
left 4 long 100,
I don't think I've ever found the one car that just
keep right over crest, 80,
where you can always accurately put
right
the
6
same
long,
gear number
60,
along with
caution left
the
4
turn
half long,
number.
slippy, and right 5 half
Usually
long
you
over
just have to
crest,
kind of
left 4,
find some
Oh,
sort
I
of
see.
offset and it works.
and caution right 6 continues
Yeah,
100,
it's-
don't cut,
Like, they're closely
Into hairpin
related,
left.
but they're never
100,
actually one-to-one
left 6 long,
that I found.
and right 4,
Right.
ice patches from here,
So,
into left
I'm
5 half long,
almost
don't
ready
cut,
to make this
and
just
right
be the
4
final
long,
video.
into caution left 6 don't cut crest, into right
There's not
3
much else to
tightens
show.
2,
Yeah, I mean, this is the
left 4
final
long, don't
class.
cut,
I might
Right.
right 3
do
tightens 2, 80
something
over
more
crest,
with it in the far future.
left
Could
6
be something
continues
that I
100
want to
over
go back
crest,
to,
80,
like the Alpine A110, which
left 4
wasn't
long,
out
into
when
hairpin
I
right.
started this thing.
Right. Also,
Left 6,
you never know what they're going to patch in.
and
Actually-
right 4 long, and right
Or have
5,
they said,
left 6,
It's
to
pretty
right
much
6
known that
half
there's
long
not going to
over
be
crest,
much more
80,
added into this game
crest
because
left
they're
1
already
half long,
working on a
100,
second
full
dirt
ice from
rally.
here,
oh, well, I guess that makes enough sense.
left 6 over crest,
I might even
60,
play it.
right 5 times to 4,
You
don't
might,
cut,
huh?
I
left
might.
6, into right 6,
I've done a
into
lot of
left
playing
5,
this game.
60.
I've got over 100 hours, and a lot of
left
it is
4
just
long
from
over
recording.
crest, continues at 80, hairpin left,
So, here's the
right
most
5
difficult
long
part
tightens
about
over crest and
the
continues
Monaco stages.
into left 5, 130,
Like, in the official World Rally Championship
caution hairpin
events,
right,
you have one climb to the top, and
100.
then a descent to the other side. So
mid
you
over crest,
either
left 6,
have
60,
a
left 4
start
long,
on tarmac where
right 5
everything
keep
is a
in,
bit
left
safe,
6
even
half
though
long, keep in 100,
the track proper is really narrow.
caution right
And
6
then
long through dip,
you have to
brake,
get
hairpin
accustomed
left.
to the accumulating
100 up.
snow and ice. The co-driver
Right.
does
Left 6 half long
specify
crest,
more ice patches from
and
here,
caution left
but
6, right 5
it's
tight
still,
into
a lot
hairpin
of it
right,
is black ice. You can't really tell
60,
until you get really close that you're up on
left 6,
a
60,
patch of ice.
right 6 long into left
So-
6,
I see
and
what
right
you mean.
3 long crest, right
And you
6,
really
80,
have to take everything a bit, like
five
step
long keep in.
everything down as soon
and
as you
right
get
4
to
long,
like
80 over
the
crest,
upper, like the upper half.
four
I say
long
upper
crest.
half, I mean like past the
into
snow
right 4
line.
tights to 3,
Right.
into left 4 long keep in,
So it also gets a bit
Right five
disorienting because
left 5 half long
the 2010s cars have a whole
right
lot of
6
grip.
long, left
It's
5 half long 60,
ridiculous. It's not just that tires and
right one to
suspension got
finish.
better. There's also just computer systems that just manage your torque in such a weird way that you just. Yep,
Well done.
that's how you finish a run. So,
Good job.
thank you. Still, I really wish I could have gotten those 3 seconds, but took me fucking
Too many tries.
3 past junction.
Yeah, it was taking me multiple hours. It thought it was just time to say I'm
Maybe
done.
that'll be like eventually you'll go back and get first.
Right 4 long, 130
Someday.
over crest.
I don't think I will.
Someday maybe.
No.
Joe the Great will return.
No.
Right 5 long, 130 over crest.
I don't wanna.
Left 3, into left 2 long.
I still really
And
like
left
how just authentic these things look. I gotta wonder how.
It does look really good.
Yeah. I gotta wonder how well they researched the different camera angles. Like TV
And left 5 crest,
broadcasts.
80.
used
You
to
gotta
be.
figure if you're gonna make a game like this, you're probably a pretty big fan of the real thing, right?
Oh yeah. Like the lead director is actually a co-driver.
Left 6, right
Like,
4.
So
that's-
probably
Get hairpin left.
they probably did a lot of research.
They did. Like, that's part of why the co-driver in this is, like, really good and authentic for the most part, is that they recorded his lines in a simulator. And not only that, it's like every single track
Right 5,
has a really
into
long
left 5,
voice audio
right 1,
file that they just cut in and out of
into left 3 long,
for
100.
as the stage goes on.
Makes sense.
So like every single note, like the reading of every single note is unique
Right 4,
to the
60.
stage.
Left 1 long.
Cool. That's actually really neat.
It is, and I really like it. It does make like translation patches very difficult though.
Yeah, I can see that.
Move along over crest.
Love that snow.
Into right 5,
I love how it
60.
goes invisible
Right
as soon as the
medium.
light goes away.
Well, I mean,
You ever gone really fast through like just light snow? It's almost like you're.
no.
Hairpin right.
It's like you're in
100.
like a sci-fi
Joe, I don't
warp.
live in the right. I don't live in the right climate for that, Joe.
You're gonna have to try that out sometime. Drive up
Caution,
north,
right 5 times to 4. Left 3
find
tight
yourself
over bump cut. Right
an
6
area
crest.
that's getting snowed on, and just punch it. It kind of feels like you're in just a sci-fi
Two left,
warp
2 tightens.
sometimes.
150.
It sounds really fun.
Right 6. Into right 4 times to 3.
Can be,
Left 1.
can be.
Because I mean, you drive like that in light rain, and all you get is a really up windshield. So
Yep. Well, it depends on how the snow is. Could be really wet snow, you know?
And right 2.
Yeah. For the
yeah,
most part. I'm not sure to what degree
Keep left over
snowing,
crest. Keep
like
right over
the
crest.
weather
Right 6
effect
long
of
times
snow
5 and
affects your handling in these cars. Like on these stages, I mean.
probably it's reasonably significant, right?
Yeah,
into
I haven't taken the time to measure, but I imagine like
opens 100.
my brain just kind of wants to think that the handling gets a bit more slippery
Yeah.
just because it's snowing.
over crest.
I love these camera
Left
angles
four long,
revealing that the
100.
spectators just kind of stand there
They do.
Right over crest.
in
80.
the middle of the snow, waiting for you.
Oh yeah.
Right 6 long.
I know that's more or less
Left
real,
four
but
long, slippy. And right 5 half long over crest.
Yeah.
Left 4.
Like the
And
Brits have a
right six
slang
continues
for
100
rally
bump cut.
fans, anorak, and that's mostly just
100.
because every time you see them, they're wearing an anorak. Like,
I mean, you've showed me the pictures of, you know, there's the rally
Into right
tracks
3
where they're
times.
spilling out from the sides.
yeah, that's illegal now. Didn't used to be, but yeah.
It's 2, 80 over crest.
It was kind of ridiculous, especially apparently in Portugal. But now they just stand there. One thing I do know is that on the Wales stage, if you look around, you can see a porta potty and a long line to the porta potty.
left 6, into right 6, half long over crest.
Which is
80.
apparently just a joke on
Crest
how
left
haha
1, half
Brett's
long,
long
100.
standing in
Full
line.
ice from here.
I get it.
Yup.
It's funny because lines.
Well,
Left 5,
this
60.
was made in the UK.
Hey,
Over crest,
a
continue
little
to
bit of
80,
self-deprecating
hairpin left.
humor's alright.
Yeah.
60.
Especially when it's harmless like that.
Man.
Into left 5, 130.
And this looks like it. This makes it look like you did such a good job.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of this. It's just everything looks way more impressive when there's like an outside camera angle or even something that makes it look like it's happening.
These
in
like
slow
action camera angles.
motion. Oh yeah. I kind of wonder how some of these cameras are set up, like outside the wheel well. Like I'm not sure.
It's a video game.
Like for some cars, there are cameras mounted there, and
Oh, on the door, right? It'd have to be.
yeah, but like I never see those on the model. But then again, I never look.
Right 6 long into left 6.
You know, you can get pretty
Right
good
6,
resolution out of
80.
like little tiny GoPro
Left 5
cameras
long,
nowadays,
keep in.
so maybe that's their excuse,
right
is that
4
it's just a
long,
little
80 over
GoPro sitting
crest.
there that you can't really see all that well.
Left 4
Probably.
long crest.
If there's, but
Into right
going
4
into
times.
something completely different. If there's one thing I kind of would like to see is more mountain tracks where you go above the tree line. Because, well, there's Pikes Peak and that's it.
Turn
There-
right one
there's no
It would
other
be
place
cool if
where
it kind of broke up, because it.
it's such
I'm
a
gonna
cool
be honest
effect.
with you here. Well, and I've been watching this, and there's a lot of like, kind of hard to tell how far up you are because it looks so similar.
Yeah, your only hint is really the snow.
Yeah.
So that's it. I didn't make it into the top 500, but
No, but look at that. You beat all of your friends who haven't put any time into this game.
most of whom don't have the game. Which is...
You did it.
I
Poor
did it.
person.
Aw,
You did a good job.
I did it. I did it. I'm done.
You've done it. You freed yourself from the tyranny of Dirt Rally.
It's over.
Congratulations, Joe. You survived.
I want to thank
Yay.
myself and everybody who's been in this.
You're welcome.
And we're done. Oh, yeah.
We're done.